Welcome to Intermediate Blending, a follow-up series to Beginning to Blend. I'm JoRaSe, your host for this series, just like the last. Now, let's delve in and begin. Last time we did the first simpler model of this, and today we're going to be doing a more complex model. So let's get after marking seams. Let's start with these. Let's grab the edges here. Forgot to turn on screencast keys. So we've got this one done. We can now mark the seams. And like before, let's pick the very bottom one to mark as well, so it'll unwrap nicely. And now let's grab the next one over here. And we're going to do the same thing. Mark those. And now let's get the mid portion here. And the seams on this one, we're just going to mark both ends. And then one down the very middle on the bottom. And let's clear these off. These two do not need to be marked at all, so we clear those seams. So now we've got the bar and the two locking pieces. We can go ahead and get the weights proper. And we don't need to see the sharp edges, so I'm just going to turn it off over here. And it looks like I've already marked everything before. Because remember, this is used in the... this model is one of the pieces used in my logo. So I just decided to pull this in, but we will clear all of these so we can mark them ourselves. Actually, with these we don't have to because they're going to be one solid color. So we're just going to mark the outer edge here, like so, on all four. And we're also going to mark these. So let's go ahead and mark those. And you would think we're done, but we're not. Because if we hide this, we can see we've actually got through holes on the weights as if they were real. And that's going to throw problems when we go to unwrap it, so we need to mark the inner as seams as well. And we are ready to go. Of course, we need the center line as well, but not on the entire piece, just down here. On the bottom and the top. Bottom of the weight and the bottom of the inner portion. So now we've got everything marked. but it's not all one piece. And we'll get to making it all one piece. But we want to go ahead and start getting our texture UV layout done. So we're going to split the area and go into UV image editor mode, select the weights, select everything, and here you can see it's already got the texture and the J for my logo. But we will delete that because we don't need that. We just need this, which everything is already pinned. I'm going to unpin it and re-unwrap it. So there we go. And this still has some no? Don't know why I left that alone, but take any surprise of that kind as a bonus and don't question it, right? So now we need to get things laid out here. Go into face select mode on the UV mapper, on the UV image mapper, and get things lined up. These are this bigger portion. This is the inner. So we're going to move them on top of each other. And this is going to be one color, so we're just going to scale it in on the X a little bit to make it more compact. And get this one as well. Move it up and get it with the other one and scale them down up on the Y. And the reason I'm doing this is to make it big enough that when we're actually working with the texture file, we'll actually be able to see that. All these letters and all of this bit gets piled on top of each other because it's going to be done the same way. Just one big, or in the end result, a small bit of color, like so. Now the weights, the sides and all, they get moved on top of each other. Like so, and then we're going to rotate them so they line up pretty much exactly. Doesn't have to be 100%, just close enough. There we go. Move this up as well. Rotate it around. There we go. And scale it down. Pin it and move it down. Then we just got these 4 inset areas and drag it down. Again, not worrying about it being 100% exact, just get it close, rotate it 90, pull it down. Oh, this might need to be flipped. Yeah, let's flip it on the Y. And then we can move it up. I say don't worry about it for the majority, but you do want it more or less lining up so you're not wondering, what is that odd shape? I don't remember what that is. It makes it so much easier on you if you're doing the texture file yourself, or whoever is doing the texture map. Makes it so much easier for them. Now let's go ahead and combine these 3 parts into one. Just do a Control J to join it. And now we want to, oh, I forgot this. I've got one set of seams. It's this one, this one, and the ones on the inside here. There, and there. So now we can mark these, select everything, and unwrap. And there we go. Now we're going to drag this down and start organizing it. And again, don't worry about things being exact. We just want them close enough so we're not utterly confused when it comes to what layout we've made. Also, when you're done working with a set of UV pieces, it's a good idea to go ahead and pin them so you know you're done with that set. Because sometimes you can have 2 nearly identical sets. One you're done working on, and another you're still working on, and you're, well, which one was I working on? Was it this one or was it the other one? Just makes it a bit easier to not have to have that kind of problem. So there we go. This is going to be the handle section. So what we want to do is just grab the entire thing. And since it's going to basically have a different texture, for parts of it, we're going to have to manipulate it a little bit. So let's move this down here where we've got clear space to work with. And we're going to deselect these. Go to JoRaSe editor. There we go. Now, oh, almost missed that one. We're going to scale these out on the X, and you'll see why we're doing it this way in a bit when we actually get to the texture file. So now we're going to pin this, move it out of the way, or back up with the others out of the way, and just finish off. Go back into face mode, makes it easier. Pull it over, rotate it around, select everything, pin it. deselect, and now last couple of parts, we've got this, and these are going to be the end or the locking pieces. So get those lined up. Go ahead and pin them and slide them over. Then the two of these, pin, slide it over, and the last one, which is one piece, so we're going to leave that, pin it, and this part's done. Now we need to join both UV maps or model parts together to get the complete UV map. To ensure nothing from one is causing a problem with the other, we need to make sure each separate model portion has a separate spacing outside the grid. So this one's going to be way up here, and if we go to this one, we can see it's right down there. So now we want to join them together. Go in, we can see that both are where they should be. So now we're going to begin placing the elements into our texture grid. Slight difference this time, we're going to load in our image that we had last time. So we want the LODA, and now what we're going to do is load in our parts into this. And I know you're probably wondering, well, why are we doing that? Sometimes you can be provided with a texture map that the person doing the texture, or sometimes you can be working on a model that the person doing the texture for has, for whatever reason, quit the project, but you've still got to get this thing done. So one way is to use a pre-done texture file and just layer things on top of that in the sections where they should go, which is what we're doing here. And this method requires that you have a means of viewing the texture on the model file as you're going. So you can see here we've got some of it laid down. These look right because they're where they should be. Everything else is not, because think of this as being mirrored out to infinity, and that's why you're getting this where all of this is up here. It shouldn't be there, but it is because of that effect. So this bit is the edges, so we're going to put that right there. We can verify everything's looking okay. Yep. Now for this. So this is the midsection, and we want it to be lined up with this block. So we're going to scale it down pretty much till it's all within that block, like so. Move it up above and go into the vertice select mode and select one layer or one edge of vertices, and then go ahead and get the next one. And what we're doing is ensuring that the parts of the mesh that we want colored dark are going to get that dark color by having it lined up right along the edge here. I know it may kind of seem odd that we're doing it this way, but like I said before, I'm wanting you to have all the available approaches to any kind of project. Because if you're working on your own and you make a really cool texture that you'd like to use again on a slightly higher or more complex model, well, you need to know how to go in and adjust things to fit the new model. And so that's what we're doing here. And that should be good on that side. So now we're going to grab and pull down. And start repositioning like before. There we go. And these we can just pull down together because we know that they're in the light. So let's take a look at it now. Yeah, it's looking better. We are getting there. Will be a slight bit of distortion or because of that edge. What we can do is pull it over just a touch on both sides. Kind of help hide that a little bit. It's not going to be a perfect job, but it's better than it would have been. Next up, let's get these pieces moved in. This one should be the inside. Since I'm not seeing any changes, that tells me it is. And since it's the inside, we're just going to give it a basic gray. This one, however, should be, yep, it's the different one. And it needs to be the lighter color. So we're going to rotate it 90 degrees and move it over the lighter patch. And we're just going to keep going like this till we get it all laid out. And there we go, our second weight. Much higher level of detail, but using the exact same texture map. That's all for this session of Polygonal Art with JoRaSe. If you enjoyed what you saw, how about giving this video a thumbs up? And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on future videos from me. In the video description below, you'll find my Patreon link. Feel free to check it out. Now, on to the credits.